What's going on, you guys? We've got another new little project guitar. We have a 1994 Yamaha F-335. Now this is an Indonesian-made Yamaha. It's not one of the Japanese-made ones. But this guitar, I tell you what, for being an Indonesian-made guitar, this guitar sounds really, really good. But it's also in very, very good condition. It is a little dirty, but the guy that had it took exceptional care of it. It's really not in bad shape considering, you know, it's 26 years old now. The only real big scratches are on the pickguard, but guess what? The plastic's still on the pickguard. So if we can get that plastic off there that's been on there for 26 plus years, then the pickguard will look brand new too. The fret ends are a little teeny bit sharp, so I'm going to do a little bit of fret work on it. The tuners are totally solid pings or something like fake Grovers, but they tune really smooth and sturdy, so they're in very good condition. So really all we need to do to this guitar is clean it up, maybe round over the fret ends and put some new strings on it, and then we're going to play it, and then we're going to try to sell it, send it down the road. They're not worth a ton of money. I bet you when this thing's all cleaned up and has a new set of strings on it, it's going to sound like it's worth a hell of a lot more than I'm going to be able to sell it for. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, I think we could get somebody a really nice little player here for not much money, and we're going to have some fun, and I'll show you a couple things along the way. We'll try to make it as best as we can and then sell it off, right? Right. The tension has been released off the strings. We're just going to cut them off. Hell, for all I know, they're 26 years old because this guitar doesn't look like it's been played all that much. I do loosen them off first. I know some guys are like, oh, it doesn't do any damage to the neck to just chop them off with tension on, but they can go ahead and do that, and I'll go ahead and just loosen mine off because it really doesn't bother me to turn my tuning pegs a few times. We're not going to do any particular upgrades to this where I'm like spending money per se on it. We might try to change the intonation of the B string a little bit because that will probably help. You could probably do some easy upgrades to this and do a bone nut, bone saddle, you know, like a solid wood peg, and this string is stuck in there for some reason. That's awesome. Is there anything hiding in there? We get any prizes? No, no prizes. Oh man, this plastic is just not gonna want to come off. It's so old. But boy, if we can get this to come off, this pickguard's gonna look like it's never even been played. Thank you very much for protecting your pickguard for 26 years so that we could have a perfectly clean, non-scratched in any way, shape, or form pickguard. So now this guitar is gonna look kind of pretty much new. Again, we're using Crimson Freddy Racer. Sumac ones are fine. Cheap ones might be fine. I don't know. I've never used one of the off-brand ones. I've only used these. I'm positive the Sumac ones will be good, but I can't speak for anything else. So the next step, which probably should have been the first step, but whatever, I'm taking just a very cheap diamond crusted pin file, and obviously it's fake diamonds. You can buy these files super duper cheap, but what you have to do, the edges have diamond on them too. So I basically just took a file and I knocked all the diamond off and rounded the corners over. And now what we're gonna do is just gently round the edge of these frets over. And you don't need to go crazy, just get right next to the fret and kind of roll around and down like that. And that's a big reason why I taped off this board, because I don't want to mar the board up if possible. So what I try to do is just go until it feels like it's smooth. You can kind of feel the file. Okay, we are going to polish these frets now with semi-chrome. In that Epiphone video, I did not have on protective equipment. I had on my glasses, but that was it. You'll hopefully see this time glasses, mask, gloves. This stuff works extremely well, like extremely well, but it's basically cancer in a tube. So you don't want to touch it, you don't want to get it in your eyes, and you sure as hell don't want to breathe it when you're whipping it up in the air with a Dremel tool. I was a little dumb in that Epiphone video not wearing full safety gear to work with this stuff. I'm just gonna tell you that from now on, I'm gonna try really hard to make sure that I'm completely safe with this stuff, because it's really terrible for you. And unfortunately, there's a couple guys on other channels that use this stuff, and they'll tell you they don't really touch it. And if you're rubbing it on by hand, you could probably avoid using glasses and a mask. And I'm not gonna play safety Nazi on you here, but listen, man, this crap is bad for you. I hope you guys can see this. This is the Dremel wheel. This is cotton that came off the Dremel wheel, and that's why you wear a mask when you're working with the semi-chrome and a Dremel. Now what we're gonna do is kind of work on cleaning these tuners up. And I'm just gonna wipe them off. Nothing too fancy. They're almost 30-year-old gold-plated tuners, so they're not gonna be perfect no matter what you do. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm taking the saddle and I'm gonna use that same little file that I used for the fret ends, and I'm gonna bevel back the bridge saddle where the B string is, so I can get a little bit better intonation. The guitar already plays really good, but beveling this back so that the string only contacts with the back edge where the B string is will give us slightly better intonation on the B string. There we go. Free performance upgrade. Alright, the Idiot's Guide to Basic Tuner Maintenance. The first thing I like to do is grab a peg winder and just turn the damn things a bit. Spin them around a few times to make sure they are correctly working. Now I noticed kind of this one and this one were really loose. So what we're gonna do is take a screwdriver and we're just very gently gonna tighten up the screws on the tuner buttons. And this one was very loose. That one was a little loose. The first one was not loose at all. I bet you this one's very loose, and it is. This one's just a little loose, and that one's just a little loose. So now these tuners should have a bit more force behind them. It should be a little harder to turn them, and it is. And that's what you want. You want the tuners to kind of give you as little backlash as possible. So you want to keep things on them tight. So the next thing you want to do is get a proper size wrench or a crescent wrench and make sure all these nuts are snug. You do not want to tighten the piss out of these guys, just make sure that they're snug, not flopping about, because that's going to have something to do with the amount of backlash on your tuners. And if you don't know what backlash is, that means that even though you're turning them forward, when you put pressure on the strings, the tuners are going to tend to want to move backwards. So they're going to backlash. They're going to go the opposite direction of what you turned them. So you're going to lose tuning. You're going to go out of tune a little bit. And you don't want that. I showed you guys this stuff in the Epiphone video. I'll show you again. All this is Carmex, the tube kind, the liquid tube kind, just regular old Carmex. And I added 3-in-1 oil to it to get more of a, like a Vaseline consistency. And I just take it on a toothpick and just use a tiny little bit and put it in all the nut slots, and it works fantastically. You can use other things. They sell commercial like nut sauce. You can use pencil lead. Pencil lead is the easiest thing. Just grab a pencil and kind of rub it in there. But I really like this, and it smells good, and it doesn't leave black marks all over shit. Okay, so now begins the actual setup, and what I'm going to do here is try to figure out the scale length of this. Pretty close to 24 3/4, and we're going to make sure that our fretboard is flat. And our fretboard is very flat, except we have fall away up here, and that's a good thing. So I'm not going to mess with it. So all I'm going to do is take this Allen wrench here and make sure that this truss rod is working. Obviously it hasn't been moved in a while, if ever. So there, I just loosened it a little bit, and I don't know if this is a two-way or not, but yes, it appears that our truss rod is working. So now we're basically just gonna clean the whole damn guitar with some naphtha or lighter fluid. In the video of that Epiphone, I kind of goofed up showing you guys the polishing portion. So I'm gonna try and not goof up showing you guys the polishing portion this time. So what I personally like to do is just use my hand to get the polish spread out, because number one, your hand's a little warm and it helps the polish start to dry. But number two, you don't get your rags saturated in polish. I don't know if it's doing anything for me, but my brain thinks it does, so whatever. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to touch it, just use a rag. Like I said, the thing with polishing is not pressure, it's speed. So you want to wipe it on and then wipe it off. And the idea is to move kind of quickly. That's what gets it shiny, is speed, not pressure. If you're just spreading stuff around, you need to flip your towel around or grab a new one. The idea is to keep moving and move fast. And now I'm going to change to a completely dry towel. And I'm just going to go fast. Or what I perceive to be fast. Try to get it all out of the nooks and crannies. This is why they have high-speed polishers. They don't have high-pressure polishers. Take a little extra care on the pick guard. And I'm not going to polish the whole guitar. I'm only polishing the top. Only polishing the money shot, boys and girls that don't watch my channel. Actually, I know for a fact there's a couple of them that do. And I appreciate you. Play guitar, girls. That damn pick guard looks like new. Because it is, because it never had the plastic taken off of it. Is it a little sad that we had to be the ones to do it? Sure. And now what we're gonna do is hit the top with Renaissance wax. And I'm gonna keep 2 towels out, one to put it on and one to take it off. And I'm not gonna work in large areas. Because this stuff, if this stuff dries on the guitar on you, you're screwed. It's not gonna come off. It's gonna look cloudy and milky and crappy, and you're gonna be bummed out. So wipe it on and then change rags and wipe it off. Like now. I think that looks like $1,000,000. How about y'all?